All right, so when Darren and I were growing up on the farm and we had livestock, you know what went to silage? The worst corn possible. So every year we look at, all right, what are our best fields? Where are the worst possible spots? Well, let's take the worst spots, let's chop those. We get some acres out of the way, it's done, and whatever, the livestock are gonna eat it, who cares? But here's the whole thing. You wanna have not just great crop, you wanna have great livestock too. And anybody who's gonna raise great livestock knows you have to have great feed going into the great livestock, otherwise they aren't great livestock. They don't have your rate of gain as what you're looking for, and they aren't going to be as healthy as what you're looking for. So here's our whole point with this silage corn thing. And it just depends on which side of this you're on. If you're just a crop farmer, you're selling it off for silage, you know, that's one thing. Maybe you can't get much of a premium for good quality silage. But hey, if you're a livestock producer and that's your main job and you've got corn on your farm, what we're trying to tell you here is we really encourage you, start looking at how to raise the best, healthiest corn, and then you're going to have the best, healthiest livestock.
If you've thought of silage as not a very high input crop, you're totally wrong. We have to treat it just like we would treat corn, and really even a little bit more. So when we think about getting off to a good start with silage, we like to have good growth, and using something like Rise Up Smart Grass early in the season has shown to put more height on that crop. Using starter fertilizer is another thing that shows good early growth. Now, it doesn't always add up to more corn, but if you get better early growth, a little wider leaf, that could very well add up to more tonnage every year for you on the farm.
Yeah, when you're talking about that too, I think about biologicals like quick roots. Anything that gets that crop off to a great start is a plus. Also, you want to take a look at, how do I raise the best, healthiest corn? Well, you've got to have the right nutrients. And it's not just the right nutrients for the corn crop, it's the right nutrients to go into your livestock. Just think about what your supplements are for your cattle. What does that tell you about the crop that you're feeding them? I'm just trying to say, hey, if you have the right levels of potassium and phosphorus in the field, that's great, but let's also think about all those different micronutrients out there. The whole point is feed your field, feed your crop. That's going to feed your livestock even better.
Okay, another thing is insect control. Now I realize many people are trying to cut back on their expenses on the farm. Look at the different rootworm products. If you don't want to buy the trait, that's fine. You can put a generic Capture product out, or even name brand Capture LFR if you want to use the good stuff. Put it right in the furrow and do an excellent job controlling your corn rootworm and other insects, and hardly spend any money. The prices on liquid insecticides have come down tremendously in the last few years.
Well, the other area where prices have come down is fungicide. You can now get a half rate of a good quality fungicide for $3 to $4 an acre. You can afford fungicide in a lot of cases, and it's going to help make your plants overall healthier, and all you have to do is throw it right in with your starter fertilizer, or at the time of starter fertilizer, try to keep it separate, or throw it in with your post-emerge herbicide. Speaking of herbicides too, we just really encourage you, have good weed control. I don't care what crop you're raising. Now, if you want to let weeds go late in the season in silage corn, it's not that big a deal. In fact, that might be your cover crop.
I don't agree with that. I don't like that at all.
The point is, if you have great weed control in any corn until the time the corn is a foot tall, beyond that, it's not as big a deal for this year. Now, you'll have more weed seeds in the ground in the future, but I'm just trying to say, hey, if you're looking to cut money, don't do it out of your herbicide program if you're going to have weeds early in the season. That'll really hurt your yield and hurt your tonnage. Well, another thing that's always important for yield, and I don't care what crop it is great weed control, especially if you've got our Weed of the Week. We'll tell you how to stop it next.